Today I want to talk to you about how I was able to completely change the way I interact with women I'm attracted to and go from someone who is very cautious about expressing my interest and desires to someone who says things like,
"You look very beautiful. Your eyes, the clothes, everything looks really nice. You look very beautiful. You look very happy too. You look very beautiful. Your eyes, the hair."
You might find these videos amusing, but I think that this touches on something very fundamental to our experiences as human beings. And that is especially relevant today where, most people live in big cities surrounded by people, yet everyone is on their dating apps. And whether you're looking for your life partner or you're just trying to get laid, I think that this is about something much deeper, which is our relationship to our own desires and our ability to express them. If you had told me at 19 years old that I would be able to walk up to any woman I wanted and casually flirt with her, let alone put the clips on YouTube, I would have never believed you. I don't know about you, but when I grew up in France, when I was in elementary school, other kids would make fun of you if you had a crush. I remember when I was about 8 years old, this girl I really liked said to me in front of all of my friends that she thought I was cute. My friends ended up making fun of me for months to the point that I would pretend that I didn't like the girl. Fast forward a few years later in middle school, and it's the same issue. Once this new girl came in my school and we very quickly became very close friends. We would always sit together, always laugh. And I was in love with her, but I didn't know how to tell her. Eventually, one of my friends, asked her out, whatever that means at 12 years old. And, she took a few days to decide. And I remember being in the shower and sort of rehearsing a speech that I would make to her to tell her that I really liked her and I wanted her to go out with me. In the end, I never got the courage to say anything, and she ended up dating my friend, whatever that means at 12 years old. And then, I grew up some more, reached my early 20s, and at this point, you're surrounded by women you find attractive. And, I would get by, I went out, I was part of the right friend groups. But the truth is, if I saw someone I was interested in, in a cafe or something, I would have never been able to just walk up to that person and talk to her. First of all, I didn't want to be a creep, Expressing your desire always feels a bit odd, It's kind of like beauty, attraction, sex, desire, all of those things are kind of taboo. And so you're kind of in a position where you're trying to hide it as if you're trying to sneak in. And the second thing is, you don't want your ego to be hurt, and when you're about to express your interest, it kind of feels like you're wrapping a little piece of your heart in it, and the idea that it could not be mutual it just makes it too scary to say anything. And the more I grew up, and the more this inability to express my desire and to just sort of be myself really bothered me, and I started really thinking much deeper about what does that mean when I like someone? How do I relate to that emotion? And why does it feel so heavy to express it? And I kind of realized something. The first thing is that when you see someone or something you find beautiful, whether it's a woman, a man, a landscape, a piece of art, a house, you don't decide to find it beautiful. It just is beautiful. It is your opinion. Maybe you find something beautiful and I don't, but in the way you experience your reality, it's a fact. If I show you a picture of anything, you're not going to deliberate whether you find this thing beautiful or not. You will almost instantly know. In the same way that when you look at the sky, it's blue. This car is red. The grass is green. This person is beautiful and this person is ugly. It just happens to you. There is an innocence to it. And so it begs the question, why does it feel so emotionally charged when it's about someone I find attractive? Shouldn't I be able to tell someone they're beautiful with the same emotional lightness as when I said that the sky is blue? Now, a second thought, and before you say anything, I'm not comparing people to objects, but since we're talking about our relationships to the things we desire, for the sake of this example, let's say that you're walking around and someone parks a very nice car in front of you and you say, "Wow, what a nice car." Do you expect this person to give you a free ride or maybe to give you the car? Would this person expect you to want that, or maybe conspire to steal the car from them? And more importantly, let's say that you're working with a friend and that your friend knows that you don't have enough money to afford this car. Would they make fun of you for liking something you can't get? Absolutely not, because there's no shame in desiring something that you find desirable. What's critical though is, what is your relationship to that desire? What are you going to do about it? And how will you be able to express it? And this realization was a huge turning point for me, because it reconnected me with something that I think many people have lost sight of, which is our innocence. Remember when I said you don't want your ego to be hurt, and when you're about to express your interest, it kind of feels like you're wrapping a little piece of your heart in it, and the idea that it could not be mutual it just makes it too scary to say anything. The problem was that when I was thinking about expressing my interest or giving a compliment, I was way too attached to it. It's like, I want to give you this, but I don't want to let go. But as I realized that when I find someone beautiful, it just sort of happens to me, that it is a very unilateral and innocent position, I came to the conclusion that I should be able to express my desires without any expectations, just stating a fact and giving a compliment just for the sake of it, kind of like giving a free point. So, instead of being attached to it, you just sort of give it. That shift in perspective enabled me to meet and flirt with much more women that honestly I never thought possible. And as I started gaining some perspective, I realized something else. One day on a Sunday, I wanted to schedule some dates for the week. So I opened my phone and I realized that the previous week I had met 12 women. And at this moment, I realized something instantly. One, that I don't have enough time to go on dates with all of them. And two, that I should really just focus on the one that I really felt a connection with. There are tons of people you'll find attractive in this world. If you live in a big city, just walk around for a few hours and you'll see plenty. But the truth is that there's much fewer people that you are gonna really connect with, that you'll genuinely want to spend time with. And this made me realize that for a long time, I was basically blinded by physical beauty. I would put it on a pedestal as kind of this holy thing, but as I started meeting all of the women I was attracted to, it kind of made me realize that beauty is just one variable of a very long equation, and that there's no point in being hung up at the first step because there's a long way to go. And that doesn't mean that physical beauty is not important. As my math high school teacher would say, it's a necessary condition, but it's not sufficient. Finding people you actually and genuinely want to spend time with is the real challenge. Chemistry is a spectrum, and the more you meet people and the more you have options, the more you'll naturally tend to focus on the higher end of your spectrum, the people that you really connect with. And I think that is true for your dating life as well as for your friendships. This whole experience made me realize that the reason I was so anxious to express my desires, the reason I thought it was such a big deal to tell a girl she was beautiful, was because of my own relationship with my desires. I was too attached to them, and I didn't have the experience to see them as they are. As I said, your desires happens to you, but unless you actually interact with people, you're just living in your imagination. And once you start engaging with people, you actually realize that things are just much more nuanced than you thought, and you just relax about the whole thing. Now, I just shared my story, but I know that some of you probably have some hesitations, and I'm gonna address a few of them. If I forgot one, please, let me know in the comments. But the three hesitations that I hear the most are: one, it's better to be more subtle, to be mysterious, to hide your cards. Two, that you should wait until a woman makes you a sign, there's eye contact, a smile, anything. And three, that women don't like to be approached. Being subtle is great, but you have to be relaxed enough to be able to be subtle. Because the thing is that whether you're direct or subtle, your point need to come across. The person in front of you need to understand what you're trying to communicate to them. And the thing is, if you're not relaxed enough to be direct, you'll never have the nerves to be subtle. You're just not going to express your desire, and you're going to end up in this famous place called the friend zone. The thing is, as you get more comfortable expressing yourself directly, your mind is going to become more and more relaxed about it, and eventually and naturally you'll find ways to express your desire in more subtle ways. It's kind of like you need to be able to ride on a skateboard before you start pulling off some tricks. The second hesitation is that you should wait for some sort of sign. I would say that from my personal experience, I've talked to a lot of people that seemed open and in the end didn't want to talk to me, and I've talked to many people who seem closed off and in the end were very happy to talk to me. You know, you're not in people's mind, it's already hard enough to be in yours. So I would say don't live in the world of your assumptions, just have the courage to step into reality. I also think that this view is a bit cold and very mechanical and forgets the innocent nature of one human being wanting to talk to another one. What if the person didn't see you? Or what if they have something else on their mind? I mean, I don't think that things have to be so regimented. If you want to go talk to someone, go for it, just be open to whatever might happen. And the last hesitation, especially when in regards to, approaching someone in the street, people say that, women don't like that. And for sure, like no one likes when a creepy person comes and talks to you. And if you talk to someone and it seems like that the person you're talking to is creeped out by you, you should really meditate on it so that you can fix it. But it is also true that when someone says women don't like that, what is that? The truth is that they're thinking about a few non-desirable scenarios in their mind, but it is also true that in the world there's billions of possibilities, and so you never know what's going to happen. And I would also add that everyone likes a good surprise. And this ties back to my point about living in a world of your assumptions. In a few of my older videos, I've tried to highlight some of those contradictions by going to talk to a woman who was on the phone or another one who was working with headphones. And I think that as long as you have good intentions, as long as you know that you don't want to bother people, just go for it and see what happens. At the end of the day, I think that what matters is to live true to yourself and cultivate your self-expression without any expectations. So if you want to say something, say it. If you want to give a compliment, give it like a gift and watch yourself. For me, this is like an active meditation exercise where the goal is to be true to yourself while remaining as calm and relaxed as if you're hanging out with your friends. That's it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I would love to meet you. So shoot me an email at ruben@socialanimal.us and I would love to FaceTime with you. That's it. See you next time.
It's a pleasure to meet
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
Good luck with your roommates.
I appreciate though you coming over. You should keep doing that
I-
to people
I-
you might be.
Yeah, I do it.
It's the way to do it.
Whenever I get inspired, I do it.